Attention passionate Washington Commanders fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Washington Commanders' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Washington Commanders fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with YOUR, FRINDS and Washington Commanders FANS. Let's get to the news now, folks. Let's dive into what could be one of the most intriguing stories surrounding the Washington Commanders this offseason. It's not just about the draft picks, the new signings, or even the coaching staff. No, it's about a potential move that might shake up the entire NFC East. We're talking about the possibility of trading wide receiver Noah Brown. Yes, you heard that right. Despite the fact that Brown just re-signed with Washington on a one-year deal, the buzz is that the team might be seriously considering parting ways with him before the season kicks off. And trust me, this isn't just speculation. It's rooted in some interesting strategic moves and roster dynamics that could redefine the Commanders' receiving core for 2024. To understand why this might be happening, you need to look at the bigger picture of the team's roster composition and the direction the front office seems to be heading. Washington, under the leadership of head coach Ron Rivera and general manager Martin Mayhew, has been shifting gears. They've been aggressive in trying to build a more competitive squad, especially on offense. The signing of key free agents, the draft picks, and the re-signings all point towards a team that's trying to find the right combination of talent to push for the playoffs, and maybe a deep run in the postseason. Now, talking specifically about the wide receiver room, it's become quite crowded. You have Terry McLaurin, who's obviously the clear number one, a true star, a guy who's proven time and again that he can be a game changer, whether it's in the red zone or on those explosive plays down the sideline. Then there's Deebo Samuel, who the team acquired in a trade last season, and he's been a versatile and dynamic presence when healthy. The front office is reportedly open to negotiating a long-term deal with McLaurin, which would solidify his role as the cornerstone of the offense. Meanwhile, the team also drafted Jalen Lane, a promising young receiver with upside, and brought back KJ Osborne, a player with some experience and special teams value. So with all of these pieces in place, the question becomes, where does Noah Brown fit into this puzzle? Well, despite his moments of brilliance, like that incredible Hail Mary catch against the Chicago Bears, Brown has struggled with consistency and durability. He's missed some time due to injuries, which raises questions about his dependability over a full season. But let's not forget, Brown is a former Ohio State star who was picked in the 7th round of the 2017 NFL Draft. He's had a journeyman career, bouncing from Dallas to Washington, trying to carve out a more prominent role. And this is where the rumors come into play. Sources suggest that, despite re-signing, Brown's future with the Commanders might be short-lived. The team might look to trade him, especially if they believe they can get value in return or if they want to open a spot for younger or more versatile receivers. It's not just about Brown's performance, but also about roster flexibility and strategic planning. The Commanders are clearly trying to position themselves as a team with a balanced, explosive offense, and that could mean making tough decisions on some veteran players who aren't quite fitting into the long-term picture. But hold on, folks, because this isn't just about what Washington might do. It's also about where Brown could go, and there are quite a few interesting landing spots that make sense. For example, the New Orleans Saints. After Derek Carr's retirement, the Saints are looking for reliable weapons for their quarterback situation, whether it's Tyler Show or Spencer Rattler. They've already added veteran wideout Brandon Cooks this offseason, but Cooks is no longer the same explosive threat he once was. Brown, on a fresh start, could be a perfect fit for New Orleans. He's not a top-tier WR1, but as a potential WR4 or depth piece, he could be exactly what the Saints need to add some punch to their passing attack. And let's not forget the Baltimore Ravens. Lamar Jackson's team has been searching for consistent targets behind Zay Flowers and Rashad Bateman. Brown could be a valuable addition as a reliable veteran presence, especially since the Ravens have a knack for developing receivers and making the most of their talents. Lamar's ability to throw on the run and find open receivers means that Brown's versatility and contested catch ability could make him a solid option in the aerial attack, even if he's not a full-time starter. Now, it's interesting to consider that Brown might also end up back with the Dallas Cowboys, whom he's familiar with and who could use some back-end depth at wide receiver. Although the Cowboys have C.D. Lamb and George Pickens, they're always looking to add more weapons, especially if Jalen Tolbert leaves in free agency next year. Brown's familiarity with the offense, his experience in the league, and his ability to make those contested catches could give Dallas some additional firepower in case of injuries, or if they want to see how he fits into their future plans. On the other hand, the Los Angeles Chargers are another team that could benefit from adding a player like Noah Brown. The Chargers have been hesitant to make big splash trades for receivers after failing to land DK Metcalf last season. Their current receiving core is somewhat inconsistent, with Mike Williams battling injuries and Quentin Johnston still trying to establish himself as a reliable starter. Brown, with his hands and size, could add some much-needed depth and reliability to Justin Herbert's arsenal. While he might not be the answer as a WR3, he could certainly help lighten the load and give Herbert another target to trust in tight situations. So, what does all this mean for the Washington Commanders? Well, it's clear they're building a team that is looking beyond just individual talent. They're trying to assemble a roster that can compete at a high level, with a mix of veterans and young players. Trading Noah Brown might be part of that plan, freeing up cap space, roster spots, and possibly acquiring draft capital or future assets. It's a chess move, a strategic decision that could pay off in the long run if they find the right replacements, or if they're simply looking to create more flexibility. Of course, we need to keep an eye on how this develops. The NFL offseason is full of surprises, and sometimes players get moved unexpectedly. Brown's market might not be as hot as some other players, but teams are always on the lookout for depth and potential low-cost contributors who can step up when needed. He's not a flashy name, but he's a proven commodity with some upside, and in this league, that's often enough to attract interest. Meanwhile, the Commanders are also focused on other key areas: their offensive line, which has been a work in progress, and their defensive front, which needs to continue developing to be a top-tier unit. The quarterback position remains a topic of discussion, especially with Sam Howell's promising start last season and the team's efforts to find stability there. All these pieces are interconnected. A good trade, a smart signing, or a breakout player could be the difference between a playoff appearance and another offseason of what-ifs. And let's not forget the fan base. Washington fans are eager for a winning team, for that sense of pride and excitement that comes with a deep playoff run. The team's history is rich with legendary moments and iconic players, and the current roster is trying to carve out its own legacy. Every move, every signing, every trade is scrutinized, debated, and analyzed. But at the end of the day, it's all about building a team that can contend and bring that Super Bowl trophy back to the nation's capital. Now, looking ahead, it's safe to say that the upcoming NFL season will be one of the most exciting yet for Commanders fans. The roster is shaping up, and the front office seems to be making calculated moves to maximize their chances. Whether or not Noah Brown gets traded, or if he stays and fights for his spot, the story is still unfolding. What's clear is that Washington is not standing still. They're actively trying to improve and adapt to the ever-changing NFL landscape. The NFC East, as always, will be a battleground, with the Eagles, Cowboys, Giants, and of course, the Commanders all vying for supremacy. And with these strategic decisions, like potentially trading Brown, the Commanders are signaling that they're in it to win it. So folks, stay tuned, because the offseason is just getting started, and the real action is right around the corner. We'll see how these rumors develop, what trades happen, and how the team's roster finally shapes up for the 2024 season. Remember, every move counts, and for us, as passionate fans, every new piece of news is another reason to get excited, to cheer louder, and to keep believing in the potential of the Washington Commanders. This team has a rich history, a passionate fan base, and a future that's full of possibilities. We're on the edge of something big, and I promise we'll be here every step of the way to bring you the latest updates, insights, and analysis. And now, Washington Commanders fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the team. Do you think trading Noah Brown is the right move? Or do you believe he still has a role to play in this squad? Are you excited about the direction the team is heading? I'd love to hear your predictions and your hopes for the upcoming season. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, more breaking news, and all the in-depth coverage you love. So stay tuned, stay passionate, and let's keep supporting our Washington Commanders through thick and thin. This is more than just a team, it's a family, and together, we're aiming for greatness.